Ghostly greetings, players. Ghostly greetings. We're on at your boy Prue. How we doing today? Second video for today. Same shirt. Sorry about that. Excuse me. I don't get a lot of time to film during the week, so I tried to film a couple on Sunday morning before church. So here we are. But today's topic is top 5 my favorite retro classic science fiction books. Number 5 is only number 5 because he was on the border of that time frame. But I love science fiction, and I do lean towards classic retro science fiction over modern science fiction. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with either of those genres, but I feel like they are different, and they do have a different style than the other science fiction writing styles. I feel like old is kind of like an instance or an event that occurs, and newer science fiction is character-driven. I will do a video, maybe not next week, but the week after, for top 5 modern science fiction novels. So if you're not subscribed and interested, please subscribe or just watch. Just watch. I don't care if you subscribe. Just watch. Let me know. I really would prefer comments like, oh, Prude, have you read this? Have you read this? Have you read this? Because when it comes to science fiction, I don't feel like I've read a lot. But what I have read, these are the top 5 authors. I have 2 rules. 1, it's classic science fiction, so it's got to be classic. 2, 1 book per author. Otherwise, this whole thing would be Robert Heinlein. Robert Heinlein is my favorite classic science fiction author, but you're also going to see Asimov and Philip K. Dick on this list. Arthur C. Clarke, I do love his stuff, but he did not make the top 5. Those are the big 3 in science fiction. If you ever look up classic science fiction, they're probably going to reference Clarke, Asimov, or Heinlein. Those are not on here. Dan Simmons' Hyperion, I couldn't decide where that goes. So special shout out to Dan Simmons' Hyperion. I love Dan Simmons, and Hyperion is an amazing novel that'll probably be on my top 5 favorite novels of all time video, should I ever get to that. But here we go. Top 5 science fiction novels. Here we go. From your boy Prue. Again, these are my opinions. You don't have to agree with them. If you have read them, let's talk about them. If you haven't, I totally recommend these. They're all 5 out of 5 stars. Some of these books, actually all of these books in some way has affected me to this day. Richard Morgan's Altered Carbon, I don't own anymore. I was digging for that one, but it's gone. So another special honorable shout out to Richard Morgan's Altered Carbon. I love that book so much. That book taught me how to like understand. Sometimes people don't feel at home in their own skin. I wish I had that book to show you, but I just don't have it. I used to, and I loved it, but I can't find it. Who knows? Who knows? Bathroom went out. Who knows? I'll buy another one, but I don't have it when I felt like filming this, and I really want. But I've always felt very at home in my skin. Like, if you were to, like, prove, you look inward, do you match you? Are you where you, and I feel like, yeah, I'm a little chunkier, but I love to eat. I'm a little less kempt than I should be, but, you know, I feel like that's me, you know, I feel at home in my skin, but some people don't. And to approach on a very political issue right now, which is one thing sci-fi does that I fucking love, is transphobicism. Because some people feel like they're in the wrong gender, in the wrong body, and that book helped me understand their perspective more. So I get that a little bit better because of that book. So that's a good thing. But here we go, top 5, and I'll tell you about how these affected me in some way. Here you go. But number 5 is William Gibson's Neuromancer. This came out in July 1984. This is the closest one I have to modern fantasy. It was too retro to go on modern fantasy or modern fantasy sci-fi, but it was too new to go with this. So William Gibson's Neuromancer is freaking amazing. Have you not read Neuromancer, the Sprawl trilogy? This is so good. This literally invented the Matrix. You know, it's about a guy and he gets like kicked out of like the Matrix and he gets his way back in. It's kind of like a heist. And I want to read the first line of this book. I almost have it memorized, but if I tried it right now on the spot, I would screw up. The sky above the port was the color of a television tuned to a dead channel. Could you imagine looking up? Now, I'm in my 30s. So back in the day when you turned on a TV and you have nothing on, you have like a snow channel, like and little snowy white dots. That's what this has. And that first line alone, I finished this book in one setting. I usually do every time I read it or listen to it. I've done that 5 to 10 times. This is one of my favorite books of all time. It's about an internet cowboy named Chase, and he's trying to get back into the Matrix and doing illegal shit. I refer to it as the Matrix. That's basically what it is. This is so good. 5 out of 5. All these are 5 out of 5. But this helped me understand, in a way, when you're finally at home, and then you're kicked out of home, and you're trying to get back. Even though you don't like home, you always try to get back there. And that's how Chase felt when he was booted up. He's like, that's who I am. I'm an internet cowboy. And I really like that. I really like that. All right. Number 4. This is probably going to make people mad, but Foundation by Isaac Asimov. This is the trilogy, but book 1, Foundation, was so good. Isaac Asimov is the godfather of science fiction. Everyone loves him. I also love him. He's a great writer. This is about like galactic empires. And this also kind of hit you in a way where, like, in a lot of books, it's the main character. Like, if you read YA or like something like Drizzt, I read Drizzt, and that book, 40 books, 1 character. But this, time passes, and characters get old and die. And this kind of amidst that like thing, like none of us are forever. But some of the stuff we write and do will echo forever. And I kind of thought that hit home. That made me realize my own mortality while realizing there was a way for me to achieve immortality through the acts and the events that I do. Some of the stuff that I do now may indeed increase the goodness or badness of the world for generations to come. So consequences have their actions, but good actions can last forever. That's a good motto. That's a good motto. Next up, okay, these are tied for number 2. So please, tied for number 2, but Robert A. Heinlein's A Stranger in a Strange Land. I do not grok is an expression I use in my work. The guy's name's Valentine. That's an amazing name. He owns Mars. He's born on Mars. He now owns Mars. Corporations are at him. He invents a religion. It's amazing. If you want to turn your third eye inward, which is a hint for what's book number 1, but if you want to turn your eye inward and have an outward look on today's society, Stranger in a Strange Land hits the home every time. There is a better version out, but this is the classic sci-fi one that I've had. This is the one I love. It's got the yellowy pages. It's just, whenever you get into like an old sci-fi book, you know, but this is a good book for a guy who owns Mars and gets chicks. That's so good. That's so good. Abductions, Huxley's, A Brave New World should have been on this list now that I think about this one. But no, he wouldn't have made the cut. These are all amazing. Brave New World's amazing, though. Okay. Also tied with number 2 is Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick, or Blade Runner. Very loosely based Blade Runner on this book. Nothing about this is the same. There's a scene with the police station they completely cut out. But it's Philip K. Dick, and he's basically this dude, and Meyerism's a thing with animals and the environment. He's doing stuff. And this is a hard book to explain without giving away a lot of spoilers, especially if you've seen Blade Runner and the differences. But I really like Deckard. I like how they do this book, and it's super short, like it's 200-something pages. And you can read this book in a couple hours, and you fall in love. And it's just amazing. Philip K. Dick does take you on a riding, but also, to me, has me question my own reality. It's part like what's real and what isn't real is often a matter of perception. So just because I'm not perceiving it the way you do doesn't mean it's not real. And that's what that stuck with me. So some of these, all these books have stuck with me and changed my perspective on some way to warp it into the mind that is now Pruitt. The dark, funny, chicken-loving dude who loves, you know, food, snacks, and a good shark novel, shark movie. That's that. And a lot of that is from Philip K. Dick's Androids Dreams Electric Sheep, because it's like our memories are what make us who we are. So like if you were to give somebody memories, that's what they would base their decisions on. So it's you are a sum of your experiences. Like in a video game, you level up, you experience. And depending on your experiences is how you react to situations. But the way you perceive the experience is how the experience will affect you. There you go. But number 1, and everyone knows this who knows me, fucking Dune. Motherfucking Frank Herbert's Dune. 1968, I think? Hold on. I don't know. Dune's old. Dune's been around a while, and Dune is amazing. Paul Atreides is one of my favorite characters. I like the Dune saga. I've read up to like chapter houses as far as I got. So I didn't read the Brian Herbert stuff. But Dune, guy gets royal family. Guy has like a family. Gets in charge of a planet where the spice that you need to live. it's basically the fuel it's basically the gas that runs the engine of the new empires. All that gas comes from one planet, and it's called Dune or Arrakis, and they need it. So they put this family in charge, but the Emperor's worried that family's going to get too powerful and take down the Emperor. So he arrives with their rival family, and there's a big family feud battle, and then Paul has to recruit, like, the Dune planet, and it's like, man, Dune's a poor planet. Like, there's no water. They value water more than anything. It's a desert. There's giant worms that attack, but they control the most powerful thing in the universe. So it's, to me, that's like, wow, sometimes the poorest things are the most important things. Because even though, like, oh, I can go to the sink right now and get gallons of water, I can't go to the sink right now and get a cup of spice. So there you go. And this is amazing. It's written so well. There's the litany of fears in this book, and if I had enough balls, I would get that tattooed. Paul Atreides is awesome. Lady Jessica, a Bene Gesserit witch. Now, the Bene Gesserits are what kind of stuck out to me in this book, because they're an order who planned breeding for thousands of years, and then they got to the point where the one girl's like, hey, you're going to have a daughter, and then that daughter's going to have the, and then she's like, yeah, no, I'm sorry, I love my husband, he wants a son, and I'm kind of like a witch, so I can do that. But there you go. It's been my top 5 science fiction novels. Sorry it's a little longer. It's 11 and a half minutes. Probably going to be over that. 12 to 13 by the time it ends. But let's do a recap. William Gibson, Neuromancer, is a fun prequel to The Matrix. It's a heist novel. The Sprawl trilogy itself is amazing. I loved it. Foundation. You know Foundation. If you're watching this and you're a sci-fi fan, dude, Foundation kills. Oh my God, so good. I've read the first 4. They're all amazing. I might do reviews on those later on. Do Android Dreams of Electric Sheep. It's a short, great novel. Very, very different from the movie. I don't want to say too much without spoiling how they're different. That police scene will fucking change your perspective, though. Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein. Robert Heinlein's Starship Troopers is amazing. The Moon is a Harsh Mistress, but this sticks out. Every time you read a bunch of stories, you'll be like, man, you know what really stuck out this year? This, and this did that for me. This will do that every year. I read this like once a year. It's so good. And Dune. Fucking Dune. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Everyone in my work will be like, hey, what do you like better, Star Trek or Star Wars? I like Dune better than Star Trek and Star Wars. The Sci-Fi Channel movies, I'm excited for the new Dune movie. I just like Dune. That's been your boy Prue. Stay creepy. I'm not into this on 30 minutes. That's unlucky.